You are watching Sunbelt Conference Volleyball on ESPN+. From the First National Bank Arena in Jonesboro, Arkansas, the Arkansas State Red Wolves host the Texas State Bobcats. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Bradley Brewer alongside Corey Keller here as we get set for the final matchup of the weekend between these two teams. And so far, it's been all Texas State.
It has definitely been a tough day for the Arkansas State Red Wolves. However, Texas State is continuing their legacy of being undefeated in Sunbelt Conference play.
That's right. The Bobcats are only one win away from finishing this regular season undefeated. As we take a look at yesterday's couple of matchups, and as you can see here, most of these highlights are going to favor Texas State because Arkansas State really had a hard time getting the ball rolling. Texas State did everything better. Even Arkansas State, the top blocking team in the Sun Belt, Texas State ended up out-blocking them. And so Arkansas State's going to have to scramble to find something to click for them to hang with the Bobcats and take away their undefeated season. Taking a look at a key player for Texas State, and we saw her before, Janelle Fitzgerald. She has the power, she has everything, leading Texas State's offense. Janelle
Fitzgerald was a part of the preseason All-Sunbelt team, and we saw yesterday, and I know we will see today, her power and her strength that was on display.
Meanwhile, for A-State, they're going to have to look for a wild card. Madison Brown, their leading outside hitter, she's not working. Maybe Brianna Hollingshed from the middle blocker position. She had a decent game yesterday. Maybe she can step up even more this afternoon.
She was a part of their key blocking game yesterday, and hopefully today she can do the same for the Red Wolves.
Well, we're taking our final look at a couple of head coaches for these teams. First of all, Sean Hewitt finishing his first season. It's been a great first season overall. One win away from an undefeated conference season. He's been with the program for a while, and he's making it shown quite obviously this weekend. And on the other side of the court, we have Santiago Restrepo wrapping up his second season with the program. A lot of adversity. He wants to finish the season on a high note.
Coach Restrepo was not super happy about yesterday's outcome. However, today you can see there he's talking with his players, trying to get them focused and ready for today's matchup.
All right, so we're just now moments away from first serve here in the First National Bank Arena in Jonesboro. These players have been ready to play for a few minutes now. I'm sure they're antsy to get right back into it. Arkansas State looking for some redemption today against Texas State.
I think we're in for a good matchup today. I know we said Texas sweep. Texas had the sweep yesterday. However, I think Arkansas State might have a new leaf on this match in this series after a good night's rest, hopefully getting some recovery in. We'll see if they can pull out a victory today.
All right, so Emily DeWalt will start things here for Texas State with the first serve. Macy Putt with the early tip over, and she's going to get the first point. So Macy Putt had been struggling a lot off a lot of attempts yesterday, but she's able to get her first kill on her first attempt. So Arkansas State will start things off on top as Putt goes back to serve.
Putt had been hurt earlier this season, and now she's coming back, trying to find that rhythm, trying to find that groove. She wasn't as consistent as she was last season in yesterday's game, but maybe, again, after a day of recovery, a good night's rest, she's ready to go today.
Tip over there for Fitzgerald, and that one will fall just as well. So Texas State ties things up with a similar move to what Arkansas State showed in their first point. So the Bobcats will get the serve. That's Michelle Foster who will start it off for Texas State.
A big part of yesterday's game was changing the tempo, changing the pace of the hits, trying to throw the other team off guard, and it's definitely something that we saw, and like you saw it just there with that block.
All right, so Macy Putt not able to get to that ball in time. Actually, yeah, so it actually fell in. So honestly, good luck for her not getting there, falling off that, as Brianna Hollingshed, our key player for Arkansas State, will go for the serve for Arkansas State.
Hollingshed is a true sophomore middle blocker. She's 5'11" and is from Ohio.
Let's see if they can get this ball back over Texas State. They do. They are very good at keeping that ball alive. We've seen that this weekend. The point will go to Arkansas State nonetheless. But yeah, Texas State, they usually don't get out of sorts too often, but when they do, they're able to maintain their composure. Now, Arkansas State have had a tougher job at doing that this weekend, but right now have a early 2-point lead. Teskey from the outside doesn't get it to go. It's Fitzgerald's turn, and she will get the kill. So Fitzgerald nets her second kill of the matchup to give Texas State their second. Slaughter will go back to serve for the Bobcats.
Fitzgerald is just so much fun to watch. She can change up the pace and the tempo, but when she really goes for it, her plays are electric. They are booming, and hopefully we'll see some of that today.
Fitzgerald from the outside once again, netting her third kill and third point for Texas State. So it's been all Fitzgerald so far in the early goings for the Bobcats after a tough serve there from Salado. Let's see if she can replicate that. This one more easily received, and Stanford goes for the tip over. Texas State able to come up with it. Teske had similar ideas and couldn't get it to work for her own self, so Arkansas State get the point off that miscue. As Juliana Kramer, the junior setter from Harrison, Arkansas, will come in to serve for Arkansas State. From the middle this time, good dig there by Tatum Tickner. A double touch, though, will give the point to Texas State off of what looked to be a pretty good opportunity there for Arkansas State. Not able to put it all together, though, as Brooke Johnson goes to serve for the Bobcats. Tough serve there, well dug out, though, by Tatum Tickner. Macy Putt sends it back over on a tip over. Had a lot of time to get there, Texas State, but weren't able to get there. Pretty wide open spot in the middle of that court. So good job, Arkansas State, taking advantage of there.
Changing the pace has really been a key component for Arkansas State's success yesterday and now today as well.
So Sobolewska on the serve for the Red Wolves. And that's going to be a hitting error on the outside there for Texas State. So another point for the Red Wolves.
Paulina Sobolewska to take the serve.
And that'll be a service error there for Sobolewska. So the serve will go back to Texas State. And it's Lauren Teske.
She put on a show yesterday. She really was an outstanding hitter, except in the second game, Janelle Fitzgerald is the one who took over with the leading hitting percentage.
Kendall Davenport from the right side nearly had a kill there. Texas State doing well to keep it alive. Davenport went back for it. Blocked back at him, but a setter dump from Julia Kramer. Great timing on that one after two high-intensity hits from Davenport. Kramer sees the opportunity and takes the point for Arkansas State. So Tatum Tickner will go back to serve for Arkansas State. The Red Wolves starting libero.
Tatum Tickner was out last season due to an injury. Her backup, Riley Gill, was also out, so then Hannah Cox came in and was starting libero last year. Tickner started her freshman and sophomore year, of course, had a redshirt year and is now back for her junior year and is the reigning Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Week.
And Hannah Cox, that third string of sorts libero, is now Arkansas State's team manager. So position switching all over the Arkansas State team. As Rutherford took a nice hit there, well dug by Arkansas State, able to handle these hits more effectively, but still that point will go to the Bobcats. Kayla Granado will go back to serve for Texas State.
You see she's a native out of Texas. There's only one girl on the Texas State team that is not from Texas originally. We said it yesterday and I'll say it again today. It really shows the quality of players that Texas can produce.
Rutherford gets the kill off the block. So after a pretty tough serve there, gave Texas State more of a free ball situation. Set up that kill as Granado goes back to serve once again. That's another tough serve there. Netted a 50-50 ball, which Texas State were more than happy to oblige and take that easy kill for the Bobcats, as they're now on a bit of a roll.
They are. We saw this back and forth scoring action yesterday, except today Arkansas State is actually scoring a lot of their points instead of necessarily just capitalizing on the mistakes from Texas State. You can see they're a little more on cue today.
Okay, so there's a violation there. I thought that looked like a clean kill, but the point will go to Arkansas State instead.
Musante for the serve.
Rutherford from the outside with the kill. So she's starting to show up as well. And Texas State has a lot of weapons where Arkansas State's been struggling to find some solid hitters. Texas State have not had as much of a struggle in that department as DeWalt serves it away. Put on the right side.
You talked about Emily DeWalt with the serve. She has been the setter of the week for the Sun Belt Conference 5 times this season.
She's done a really good job at setting up these incredible hitters she has, as we just saw another display from Janelle Fitzgerald, getting her 4th kill of the matchup. Tip over there from Fitzgerald. Well dug, but a second go at it just as quickly. She saw that the Red Wolves defense were scrambling and took advantage of the vulnerable opportunity. So Texas State continuing their momentum a little bit here.
Talked about Texas State having a lot of assets and a lot of players on their team that are crucial and very talented. They had 3 girls that are a part of the preseason All-Sun Belt team: Emily DeWalt, Janelle Fitzgerald, and Tyrone Scott.
Kind of blows my mind how Texas State are able to keep some of these balls in play and just free ball it back over to Arkansas State, really saving a lot of points that against most teams would go Arkansas State's way, as we have ourselves a decent rally here. Josie Stanford from the outside position. And the ball will fall on Texas State's side as they were not able to corral that one and send it back over. So Arkansas State able to respond as Macy Putt will go back to serve once again for the Red Wolves. To Rutherford, and that's a kill for Rutherford. So Rutherford's been hitting quite efficiently so far. Same with Fitzgerald. As Michelle Foster comes back once again to serve for the Bobcats.
Foster has been a big part of this team, and she's only a sophomore. You can only imagine how good this team is going to be for Texas State in a few years, while utilizing some young players now.
Yeah, I mean, they're already 13th ranked in the nation, so, I mean, we're seeing a team that from the Sun Belt that could potentially go dancing and make a real impact in the NCAA tournament, as Texas State will take that free point off the service error from the Red Wolves.
Texas State has a really lively sideline. They like to chant and dance and be very involved and energized into the game. Coach Hewitt said sometimes they have a little too much energy, but he said you'd rather have too much than not enough.
Absolutely. It shows through some of that power, but that time Josie Stanford gets the kill off the block for Arkansas State. So Arkansas State kind of doing similarly what we've seen in the first set. They're able to hang in the first set, it seems like, but then the moment it feels like Texas State's able to really figure out what Arkansas State's doing pretty quickly. Let's see if Arkansas State can keep up the pressure. Tough set there from Kramer. Able to get it over to Texas State's side. Fitzgerald. And that's a kill for Fitzgerald. So she's not slowing down any, unsurprisingly, as Texas State with a 2-point lead as we approach the middle part of the first set. Johnson with the serve. Davenport with a tip over in a weird part of the court right there. It seems like Arkansas State players are all over each other, and Texas State able to find the opening in the back near side of the court. So Arkansas State will take the timeout. They've seen enough, as we will take a timeout as well.
Sure. Janitor is in their future, but
definitely probably bigger and better things than that, but you know, you never know when you need a side hustle, as Texas State serve things away, and Arkansas State's able to get a point after that timeout.
We see today Arkansas State is utilizing a variety of players, not just their normal starting lineup. They're doing a lot of substitutions, a lot of rotating today, so it'll be interesting to see who all gets the opportunity to play.
And we talked about how they might need a wild card this afternoon to pull off a victory here. They're utilizing players that we do not see as often, as you mentioned, as we get ourselves into a decent rally from the middle. That's Mariah Hesselgesser hasn't really seen too much action this season, but she'll go up and get the kill from the middle blocker position for Arkansas State.
Hesselgesser is a true freshman for Arkansas State. Like you said, we haven't seen her much this season, but she's also one of those Texas natives. We'll see if she can produce for Arkansas State today.
Sabalevska with the serve, and the hitting error from the outside of Texas State will give the point to Arkansas State. So Arkansas State on a nice little run, tying things up at 14 after the timeout that they took.
Sableska there, the only international student for Arkansas State with the serve.
She's been quite the effective outside hitter when she needs to be, as Kendall Davenport goes in from the right side, and she's able to get that kill. So Arkansas State on a 4-0 scoring run now, taking the lead from Texas State. I'm not sure if the Bobcats were expecting this.
Definitely a change of events, but yesterday Texas State was able to come back and get the victory in each set. So we'll see if Arkansas State can hold on to their lead.
Teskey with not too much on that one, easily received. Hesselgesser went for it, and she's able to get it again. So Hesselgesser showing a bit of an arm, with notching her second kill of the matchup, and now a 5-0 scoring run for the Red Wolves. So definitely probably the longest scoring run we've seen from this team all weekend. And a tough serve there from Sabalevska. It's going to force an odd hitting position, but Teskey's going to make it work. Really surprised that Arkansas State left that side of the court open. Had all the time in the world, but Teskey was able to find the opening and get it fast enough for the kill, as she now goes to serve for the Bobcats.
Hesselgesser posted 3 blocks versus Little Rock in her debut. We'll see if she can continue on today, as she's having a fairly decent hitting game so far.
I was going to say great job keeping the ball alive from Arkansas State, but weren't able to do it. Nice effort nonetheless, but Texas State ties things up once again at 16. As Teskey will serve things away once again. From the right side, Davenport, that one's going soaring out of the back line. So the hitting error will give Texas State back the lead. And Arkansas State, they want to quell this momentum. They want to quell the 3-0 scoring run from Texas State, stop it in its tracks and figure out. So we look back to action, look to get back to action after that timeout. Teskey back to serve once again. Davenport from the right side, she's going to be able to get that one to fall. And so we are tied once again back at 17. Arkansas State was able to benefit off their first timeout with a 5-0 scoring run. Definitely want to strike that same magic here.
Kendall Davenport, like I said, she's one of the tallest. She is the tallest player on the team next to Mariah Hesselgesser at 6'4". She's also a transfer from Missouri State.
All right, so Tatum Tickner with the service error, keeping a potential scoring run, or delaying it at least, for Arkansas State, as Granado sends it away for Texas State. And a hitting error there from Brianna Hollingshed, just a little bit less on that one. May have had a kill on her name.
But a good job by her for reading the court, noticing that there were not many people in the backfield, just put a little too much power on it.
And Texas State will acknowledge that and give a service error. Willingly, probably not, but nonetheless a free point for Arkansas State, as it looks like Lauren Musanti will come on to serve for the Red Wolves. To the left side to Rutherford. Got a second handover, and the point will go to Arkansas State. Looks like a net violation there. Looks to try to get too fancy with that one, as she couldn't get the first touch to fall. So Musante will go back. Serve again as we take another look at that. Yeah, reach over. So we're tied back. We're tied at 19. And Arkansas State staying in this one. Stanford with a tip over, not able to get the fall. Rutherford from the outside. But with a lot of power on that one, able to get that kill. So Really good display of power. We've seen she's kind of been inconsistent, but we know she has the power and the talent, and she shows it right there to give Arkansas State the lead.
Musante, the transfer from the University of Illinois Chicago, she had a good game yesterday as well.
She's a consistent setter always. She's able to make decent sets out of tough situations pretty consistently.
Coach Restrepo said that the reason why we get the weekly accolades like Offensive Player of the Week is because of people like Lauren Musante that are consistently setting, putting the ball in a good position for the team.
Josie Stanford with a nice kill there. Texas State started feeling the pressure, and now I can't remember if they've taken a timeout all week, and maybe one, but now they're forced to take a timeout. So this is a new Arkansas. We're seeing a lot of players like step up, like Mariah Hesselgesser. Josie Stanford was producing decently well yesterday as well. So we're not seeing the traditional Madison Brown show as we've been accustomed to. It's taken Arkansas State to show more colors to stay competitive.
You've definitely seen the variety of players today. I know that they're kind of struggling a little bit in depth, trying to balance having injuries. But at the same time, Arkansas State has done a decent job of rotating people out and seeing results produced from them.
Putt from the outside, showing that power once again, forcing the defender onto the ground with that hit. And now Arkansas State 3 points away from a set victory. So big scenes here in Jonesboro for the home team, looking the best they have all weekend.
Looks like that ball went off of the defender's face from Texas State, so I could imagine that would be a little bit harder to defend.
Nice try there from Tickner, trying to dive for that ball and take it over to Texas State's side, but it went into the net nonetheless, so there'll be a Bobcat point, and they've hit 20 as Emily DeWalt goes to serve to try to take this set back. Stanford from the outside, not able to get it to fall. Fitzgerald this time with the tip over, and she's going to get it. So Texas State 1 point away from tying things up, not letting the Red Bulls run away with it. This is honestly really the first test, I feel like, for Texas State. Playing close as you see Coach Hewitt crouching down close to the court, really invested in this one.
You can tell that the two losses yesterday really impacted Arkansas State, that they're wanting to do better today, and so far they have.
Stanford with a tough hit there, just kind of catching the net just enough to force it off of the trajectory that Texas State was ready for. And so that'll be a kill from Stanford, leading Arkansas State. That was her 5th kill of the matchup. And now A-State just 2 points away from potential victory. And we talked about the Madison Brown show earlier on, and it looks like she's going to be coming onto the court for Paulina Sabalewska. So we'll see if she gets involved to close things out here. There seems to be some kind of confusion, I guess, with the substitutions here, as Madison Brown wants to come in for Paulina Sabalewska, but it's not going to happen. The official shut that one down from Coach Santiago Restrepo, and so the lineup will remain the same for Arkansas State heading into this point. Tough set there, and a even tougher kill for Janelle Fitzgerald, showing off her power to keep things within one for the Bobcats as Michelle Foster goes to serve.
She's being very accurate and consistent today. She, as in Janelle Fitzgerald, she's hitting at exactly 800 so far today with 8 kills.
So not surprised with that stat line, as Hollingshed went for the tip over. Texas State able to receive it. Fitzgerald with too much power on that one as that goes out the backside of the court. Now Arkansas State, for the first time all weekend, has reached set point.
Looks like they actually gave the point to Texas State.
And I think we're going to see a challenge right here. I would agree with Coach Restrepo wanting to call it challenges. He has a conversation. He's thinking about it. All right, I think he's going to give the call for the challenge. So they're going to take another look at that one. Yeah, that looks clearly out the backcourt. I mean, obviously, especially this weekend, haven't had a great track record. So we'll take a look for maybe a potential touch here. I mean, it could have grazed the top of, I think that's Sabalewska's fingers, but at the same time,
I think the call is actually going to be Sabalewska's forearm touching the net. And that's why the point was given to Texas State.
Just
barely.
You can see it. That's a tough one. So, yeah, that's a tough one. It sounds like the point's going to stay with Texas State. Yeah, that's just a millimeter difference, it seems like.
That's tough, but those mistakes like that you can't make, and it's definitely affecting the outcome of the game.
Yeah, so Arkansas State not able to reach set point at least just yet. Almost able to get that there with Stanford's tip over off a 50-50 ball, but Texas State staying alive. Another tip over, and she'll get that one the fall. So Arkansas State able to reach set point even after that tough tough penalty there from Savalevska.
This is Arkansas State's first set point of the weekend.
Yeah, for
so it'll be interesting to see how they defend their current position.
Yeah, and they only have one set point to work with. Texas State only needs to score one to force extra points. Of course, in volleyball, you have to win by 2 as Riley Gill comes into the game for the first time for the serve. And that's a hitting error from Fitzgerald, and so Arkansas State, they're elated because they have just won their first set of the weekend and the first set of the matchup, 25-23. We'll see if they can keep that momentum going. And so that is an obvious statistic there to show how Arkansas State won that set. But they also have 2 blocks compared to Texas State 0, so not an incredible blocking performance in the first set, but did enough to kind of get them over the line. So Arkansas State definitely happy with that one. Their first set victory of the weekend over the Bobcats. We'll see if they can convert that even more as we head into the second.
And it's interesting to note, I mean, this is the first time Texas State has been down so far this whole weekend in this 3-game series. It'll be cool to see how they come back, if they can, to get the victory in the second set, or if it will go back to Arkansas State.
Yeah, we know against Louisiana, they swept them twice, but actually took a win in 5 sets as well. So Louisiana was able to make it interesting for the Bobcats in one matchup, but Texas State, even with all the skill, they also seem to show that mental toughness. So wouldn't be surprised if they came back in this one as Musante starts things away for Arkansas State.
So far this season, Arkansas State has been 6-0 when taking the first set. So we'll see if they can continue their legacy.
Definitely the toughest challenge to convert that statistic into 7-0, but a hitting error there will give Arkansas State the first point. And so they're well on their way, perhaps, to making that a 7-0 statistic. Tough serve there from Musante. Nearly an ace. Texas State just able to scramble and get that ball over as Arkansas State able to set up offensive play there from Stanford. Not able to get it to go as she digs that tip over. 50-50 ball. We'll receive from both teams. A lot of 50-50 balls here. Our Texas State doing well to keep them alive. Rutherford from the outside able to score that kill. So we've talked about it all weekend long really. Rutherford's been great hitting, but also Texas State able to keep balls alive, keep balls in play that really no other team probably would, in the Sun Belt at least, would probably keep alive. They can convert those into points.
This is definitely not the traditional 1-2-3 with a kill. Both of these teams have been changing up the pace, have been changing up the tempo of the game. We've seen some setter dumps. We've seen some just immediate hitbacks when blocking. So it's been fun to watch.
That's a Foster serves that one away for Texas State, who have the 2-1 lead in the set. Teskey from the outside. Not able to get that to fall. Goes back to Stanford. Not able to convert either. Fitzgerald looked to end things there with that power of hers. Not able to, though, as Arkansas State will get the point. So Arkansas State tying things up at 2. And that's, I mean, yesterday, I feel like the set to really pay attention to was the second set, because it seems like that's where Texas State was the best in those 3 sets. So if Arkansas State can really at least hang in there in this set, I would be really impressed, and I think they would take that as a very good vote of confidence.
In the first game yesterday, we saw Arkansas State took a big lead in the very first set of the first game and ended up Texas State came back to win the set, but we'll see if Texas State can find their groove here in the second set.
All right, so Macy Putt there with a very nice serve, catching the top of the net, falling where no Texas State players were patrolling. 50-50 ball after that service return. Potential setter up there from Musante, not working out. And a block there from Arkansas State. Fitzgerald's power for at least once being thwarted by this Red Wolves blocking defense that does lead the Sun Belt.
Coach Hewitt for Texas State had said that Arkansas State's record does not show their talent and their ability. And today I think we're seeing a little more of their normal rhythm and their talent actually producing for the Red Wolves.
Putt looked like she was going for another aggressive serve to clip the top of the net, but didn't get the hit she wanted to as it went into the net instead for the service error. So Texas State back within one.
Big dig there.
Fitzgerald looking for the tip over again. This Red Wolves defense really good job at shoving the ball back down Texas State's throat, and there's another example of it right there. Really Arkansas State showing off with a good block, really good defense at the net. As Hollingshed will go back to serve, and well, she's actually going to substitute on for Riley Gill. But yeah, Hollingshed, our key player from the middle blocker position, she's the person you can expect to see make those plays.
Riley Gill back after an injury last season. We'll see how she does in today's game.
Teskey from the outside. Red Bulls able to bring that one in. Sobolewska got too much of that one. Actually, no, it's got a touch there. Texas State thought they had it. I thought they did as well. But the point will go to the Red Wolves instead.
Let's see if there's going to be a challenge. Looks like the referees are having a conversation.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that Coach Hewitt is really having an earful with the referee, rather talking to his team. And so we'll see what the officials decide to do here. And yeah, they're going to decide, looks like on a Texas State point, as that one went soaring. I don't think there was much of a touch there. And now Coach Restrepo is saying, what? Let's take a look. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one to see. I don't think, well, that's tough. I think you could justify this going really any way. But the decision of the court looks like it'll end up being with Texas State, and they're still having discussions about it. What do you think, Corey?
I don't know. It's really close. It's hard to tell. We'll just see if they end up leaving the point with Arkansas State or Texas State.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't probably be upset. This doesn't seem like a clear and obvious call. It seems Coach Restrepo definitely pleading his case. Okay, seems to have gotten over it pretty quickly. And so it looks like the point will go to Texas State from the indications on the court. And so, yes, it will. It's Brooke Johnson. We'll go to serve after the attacking error from Sobolewska. Sobolewska again with more of a tip over there.
A little bit of confusion as the Texas State players kind of fell over one another.
Really, honestly, nice timing there to change up the pace from Texas State as Tyrone Scott comes in from the kill from the middle blocking position. So now we are squared away here at 5. Johnson to serve once again. That'll be a service error as it gets caught up in the net. So Arkansas State gifted the lead right back as it looks like substitutions are going to be made. Juliana Kramer and Kendall Davenport coming onto the court for the Red Wolves.
We've seen Kramer a lot this past weekend, whereas in previous games we haven't seen her play as much.
Yeah, historically she had been the starting setter for the Red Wolves, but Now it's transition to Musante as another big block there from, looks like Kendall Davenport, netting that. She is the leader, individual leader in blocks, not only in the Sun Belt, but in the country coming into this weekend. So she's padding that statistic.
And for the week of October 6th, she was also the Sun Belt Conference Defensive Player of the Week.
Yes, indeed, as that serve from Kramer will go just outside for the service error. Teske will go back now to serve for the Bobcats. And no one was ready to take that bit of confusion there, and I think that's what we have. Looks like Kendall Davenport and Hesselgesser to Musante's left. Really, Davenport's used to be a right side hitter. So she's played right side and middle in college at least, and a tough serve there nets to service A. So Arkansas State with a couple mistakes, giving Texas State a couple of points. Yeah, I guess that's what kind of happens when you kind of mix up. You might confuse Texas State, but you also might confuse yourself. Not as much confusion there, though, as Hesselgesser knows what she was going to do. Says, hey, I'll take that one. As Arkansas State ties things up at 8. Sobolewska on the court to serve. Tough serve there. That's going to be a service ace for the outside hitter from Poland.
DeWalt just wasn't able to get there to get a hand on the ball to save it for Texas State. We've seen Sobolewska do a great job this weekend, really being an asset for the Red Wolves.
She sends it away. This time, Texas State able to haul it in. Rutherford, though, is going to be blocked once again. Davenport really doing a good job on that near side of the court, shutting down any offensive attempts there as we take another look at it. And, yeah, just got all of it by herself. Didn't need any help. And they're happy about that one.
Davenport's height really plays to her advantage. She's very tall, and her and Mariah Hesselgesser up at the net really make it difficult to get a ball past them.
Well, we just saw a ball get past them off a tip over, and so, yeah, your usual hits there from Rutherford didn't work, so it changed up the pace. Tip it over the block, and there was enough empty court for it to fall as the service ace goes Texas State's way. Tickner is not able to get to Granado's serve fast enough, and so now Texas State respond and tie things up at 10. Tickner able to dig this one, but still going on Texas State's way, so they'll have plenty of time to set something up. And a hard tip over there from Rutherford. She's kind of found her groove now with a couple of kills as Texas State take the lead.
She's had 6 kills so far in this game and is hitting over 200. Rutherford is.
All right, so Granado in a couple of moments as we have some substitutions coming on the court to delay the serve. And Coach Restrepo definitely seeing more animate. We saw his energy kind of almost just kind of sucked out of him yesterday when Texas State started running away with it, and he actually just received a warning. So right as I was talking about him being more animate, the officials probably aren't used to that, and so they'll hand him the warning. But the passion, I'm sure, is appreciated from Arkansas State. And we talk about passion. Kendall Davenport's definitely showing a lot of it, getting the kill from the right side.
We saw her attitude completely change yesterday. She became very intense, and you could tell her focus was there and her determination was there as well.
Tied up again at 11, and a kill there. That time looked like from Tessa Marshall, as DeWalt will go back to serve for the Bobcats. To the right side once again, Davenport sent back right their way. Back to Davenport for a tip over, but that's going to hit the net. That's going to be a double touch regardless. So Texas State with the 2-point lead now as perhaps the back and forth antics here might be coming to an end. Tough serve there. Well dug from Macy Putt, who gets the tip over and gets the kill. So Macy Putt getting involved. Kind of looked like she'd slowed down in the past few points, but gets the kill, and the Red Wolves within 1.
Putt has definitely utilized a tip over a lot so far this game. We've seen her score many of her points that way.
Yeah, Putt currently hitting 188 with 5 kills. As Musante sends that serve away, a high reception. Fitzgerald, she's going to get the kill off the block. So Texas State able to maintain their lead for the time being. So Michelle Foster comes onto the court for the serve.
We've seen a big turn of events yesterday. Arkansas State had a really low hitting percentage, but today they're consistently hitting over 200, and Texas State is actually below 200 at 167.
Putt there once again with another kill. You said she's utilizing the tip over, but she also has a little bit of power to show as she gets it in front of the Bobcat defender and can't make it in time as Putt now goes to serve. When we took at the total hitting percentage, it's falling for both teams, but Arkansas State still staying ahead by about 0.09 difference. Teskey with a hard hit. Tickner able to make a solid dig there. Sobolewska with the kill from the outside position as Arkansas State tie things up once again, not letting Texas State run away with this thing.
This back and forth is a lot of fun to watch, and we haven't seen those big, long scoring runs like we saw yesterday. We'll see if they can continue that today.
All right, so the service ace for Macy Putt give Arkansas State their 15th point. We've got a good one here today. Stay with us. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Mariah Hesselgesser leads the Sun Belt, and they've been utilizing that very well, forcing Texas State to take some different looks on their offense. And as a result, Texas State only hitting 161 today compared to Arkansas State's 266.
Definitely a change of pace from yesterday. It's refreshing to see a close match like this and to see both teams really having to dig deep, give the pressure to the other team, and stay in the game.
All right, so Arkansas State with the razor-tight 15-14 lead as Putt prepares to serve once again. Scored the service ace before we went into break.
Putt is hitting well today. She has 6 kills so far and is hitting at 235.
And had real struggle hitting negatively yesterday. So I'm sure she's happy about that result. Another close serve there, but that time will go just out the back line for the error. So an ace followed by that error for Putt. We'll give the point to the Bobcats. And Kayla Tello will go in to serve for Texas State.
Haven't seen her much so far this weekend.
Yeah, we've seen her come in the kind of the later stages of the game where Texas State have already kind of wrapped things up as Stanford hits that one too hard, sitting it out the back line for the hitting error and giving Texas State the lead.
Coach Hewitt said one thing that they do have that is in their advantage is that they have depth currently. They only have one of their players out right now. She did not travel this weekend, but they are glad to have the opportunity to rotate players in and out.
Fitzgerald gets the kill off the block. Sobolewska nearly had a good shot at it, but Texas State able to keep it alive and get it over to their star outside hitter, and now Texas State with a 2-point lead.
Fitzgerald once again showing why. She's had many accolades and has been one of their star players.
And there we go. On the 50-50 ball, Brianna Hollingshed sending that one down. And a pretty tough series of events there, but Arkansas State were able to come up with the point. We take a look at that 50-50 ball, and Hollingshed got up there really before anyone else. Texas State had to run up to the net and weren't able to get there in time as Riley Gill now comes to serve for the Red Wolves. And the serve will go into the net. So Texas State will regain their 2-point lead for the time being as Brooke Johnson will come on to serve for the Bobcats.
Points like that you just don't want to give away, especially in today's match where we've seen that it's been back and forth. It's been super close. We'll see if Arkansas State can close the gap and limit the mistakes.
And yeah, so they're going to talk about how they're going to do just that. As
good as Texas State's, I think it's arguable to say that these are potentially two of the best teams in the Sun Belt, especially with Arkansas State being the top defensively and Texas State being the best offensively.
Yeah, Coach Hewitt has said that Arkansas State is a better team than their record shows, and they're showing it by staying toe-to-toe with the Bobcats as Sobolewska goes from the outside. getting the kill for the Red Wolves, staying in it the second set.
This is just such an interesting year because typically the Red Wolves and Texas State would play 12 or more games preseason. However, Arkansas State's first game was their first conference game, and they're just now finding their groove, trying to get better than they did earlier this season.
Butner gets blocked, so her first attempt will go the Red Wolves' way. And so that defense close to the net once again paying dividends for Arkansas State. The 7th block for the team of the matchup so far as Kramer serves things away. Tough hit there. Red Wolves able to dig it out as Macy Putt gets a hit, and that looks like it just touched the back line, and that means it's inbounds. And that means it's a point for Arkansas State.
Definitely close one there, but she was able to keep it in for the point.
So Arkansas State now with a 1-point lead. So we say we might see this one come down to the wire similarly in the first set. But Butner is able to get that kill to go for her. As seemed like a couple of Red Bulls couldn't really corral that one. So the equalizer comes back in as both teams tied at 19. So Lauren Teskey comes to serve for Texas State. To the right side, Sabaleska just outside in that far corner for the hitting error. Sabaleska has 4 kills so far, hitting .214 now after 14 attempts. Tough set there from Musante, able to keep it over with a tip over from Hesselgesser. Texas State will score the point regardless. So Texas State looking to reach set point for its first time in this matchup. They're 3 points away from doing so. Substitutions are made on the Red Wolves side.
Looks like Brown is back in for the Red Wolves.
We did see her get substituted in late in the first set. Putt from the middle, gets it down. Good job back and from the middle of the court. As Putt's leading Arkansas State now after struggling yesterday. That was her 8th kill of the matchup. She's hitting well above 250.
They weren't sure necessarily if she was going to play the entire game or even necessarily start yesterday, but she's definitely doing a lot better today. You can see she's more comfortable after coming back from her injury.
Tough serve there from Sabalevska, touches the top of the net. Texas State able to reel it in as Rutherford gets blocked once again. That's Arkansas State's 8th block. They've really stepped it up. That's 6 this set. They only had 2 in the first, and now we're about to take another look at the 6th, as it seems. Davenport and Hesselgesser team up to shut down Rutherford.
Hesselgesser really didn't play much yesterday at all, but she's doing a great job today for the Red Wolves.
Great job by Sabaleska keeping that ball in play for a setter dunk potential for Musante, but Texas State able to rally and get the point back in their favor. So Texas State with a 1-point lead, but as we were saying, yeah, it seems like this one's definitely going to go down to the wire now. Granado sends it away for the Bobcats. The putt on the outside, and that's a kill for Macy Putt. So she's looking a lot better today as she scores her 9th kill of the matchup and once again ties things up back and forth in the late stages of the set. And we definitely might see extra points at this point.
It's been a fun matchup to watch. Not seeing Texas State have that total dominance today.
Another hard tip over flying off the backcourt from Kennedy Rutherford, and Texas State, they're going to have to take a timeout.
Point for Arkansas State. If they can get the victory in this set, they're going to set them up for success because even though they might not win the next set, they'll be in a better place and have the advantage over Texas State.
All right, Tickner with the serve. Arkansas State point away from set point. Rutherford looking to deny that. Tickner able to dig that one up. Tough position there, and Putt's able to get that just down. So Putt's really coming into her own. 10th kill, and once again, Arkansas State reaches set point. They're going to have 2 shots at it. And then Texas State, once again, after that 1 point, they're going to take a timeout. Might as well use them all since you have them, as it doesn't matter if Arkansas State scores its next point.
And get a proper recovery, but you're also going to be very familiar with the players on the other side of the net. I think that's one of the reasons why Coach Restrepo today has done a lot of rotating and playing some new players that they have not seen so far.
Texas State back up against the wall. Sante set to Hollingshed, and she's going to be able to get that kill to close off the second set. Arkansas State shocking Texas State so far today. 25-22 victory in set 2, 2-0 lead. We're going to take a quick break, but stick around. We'll be back with stats after this. They are up 2-0 against Texas State right now, the 13th ranked team in the nation, undefeated in conference play so far. And yeah, we're seeing Texas State definitely in danger of losing their undefeated season for on the final matchup. As we take a look here, the statistics aren't on Texas State's side. 43 wins, 1 loss since 2017 when Arkansas State takes the first 2 sets. It's a huge advantage to overcome. It's a huge mountain to overcome. However, if any team could do it, probably be the Texas State Bobcats, as DeWalt starts things off in the third.
Big save by Arkansas State. Oh, and it was a point for Texas State.
Yeah, a little bit of a back and forth there. They had Arkansas State were able to save it once, but not able to do it twice, as Texas State were able to benefit from that one.
Big kill by Josie Stanford. Dug well, though, by Texas State. There's that Janelle Fitzgerald.
And that point's going to go to Texas State, as Corey's still having fever dreams over our matchup against, or Arkansas State's matchup against Louisiana Monroe a few weekends ago. Lots of names to keep up with when you're in this business. I completely understand. Sante sets it up in the middle for Hollingshed, who gets the kill off the block for Arkansas State's first point of the set.
Macy put up for the serve.
And as we see there, leading Arkansas State with a stellar .364 hitting percentage. Stark contrast, night and day, as Coach Restrepo would say, from yesterday. But Texas State able to get the kill off the block. So they'll take the serve right back as Texas State with an early 3-1 lead.
You know, Brad, we might be here a while. We might go to 5 matches. Who knows? We'll see if this Texas State team can keep up their lead.
This is where I think, man, I should have ate lunch beforehand, as we might go all 5 sets. But either way, Arkansas State is saying, don't worry, Brad, we may have you if we sweep this. I said that before the break. If Arkansas State sweeps this, that would – no one would have betted on that. No one would have counted on that as Hollingshed goes to serve. That would – I even think if you would ask Arkansas State, they would have thought, no way.
I think vengeance can do a big thing for a team, and they're definitely looking for a vengeance today, trying to get the score, trying to get the win for Arkansas State.
Yeah, I'm sure Arkansas State's looking for vengeance after yesterday's slaughter by Texas State. And as I say slaughter, I'm a very punny guy. She got the tip over, now goes to serve.
Look at you
for the Bobcats. Hey, but Hesselgesser from the middle position getting the kill.
She's really done a nice job today.
Yeah, stepping in.
Blocking and hitting.
First time starting this season for the Red Wolves, and it's paying pretty big dividends, as this is probably the most unique look we've seen of this team all season, as Kramer goes to serve, looking to tie things up for Arkansas State. Well, they're going to put that one on hold, Texas State, as Tyrone Scott gets the kill. Go up 5-3.
Arkansas State doesn't need to let that momentum die to keep up their lead and to compete against these Bobcats.
Johnson serving it away for Texas State. A tough serve. Macy had to go down low. A free ball situation as Davenport sends it over from the right side. Tough hit there, as they are once again going to free ball it over. This time going towards Teskey. Not able to get anything done either. Hesselgesser hits it down, and hey, that's a middle blocker that can hit. And she scores her second kill of the set. And we've seen multiple times Arkansas State have rotated middle blockers to the right side position. Arkansas State have done a really good job utilizing the middle blockers not only offensively but defensively but offensively as well. Teskey goes for a tip over, sent back Texas State's way. Teskey again. Dug by Tickner. They're just going to have to free ball that over. Setter dump there from DeWalt. Well dug by Tickner. Davenport from the right side is able to get that kill. So Arkansas State hanging in there even in these long rallies as they tie things up at 5.
Another one of those blockers really showing out. We've talked about the advantage that Kendall Davenport and Mariah Hesselgessler have because of their height. They can get that high vantage point on the ball and really get a lot of power going behind it.
Sobolewska on the serve there. Powerful tip over. Well dug there by Sobolewska. Arkansas State not letting Texas State score as easily as they have this weekend as Sobolewska. No way. The Arkansas State's pulling out some Texas State colors as the whistle's blown. And it seems like Texas State might get this point here. And Coach Restrepo wants a word on what exactly happened, and he's not looking happy. He's looking quite incensed there as Texas State will be awarded the point, but really solid effort from that rally from Arkansas State nonetheless.
One thing Coach Restrepo does not lack is personality and presence on the sideline. He's very vocal as a coach and very involved.
Putt with the tip over, dug out by the Bobcats from the right side.
Big dig there from Kramer.
So a lot of good defensive work from all the Red Wolves so far. Putt from the pin, not able to get it to fall. It's time from the middle. Scott gets blocked from the middle. Hesselgesser once again showing her versatility for the Red Wolves as we take another look at that. Yeah, Hesselgesser got all of that one on her forearm.
Arkansas State was able to close the gap, though, and close the lead that Texas State once had.
Yeah, Texas State were able to run away with a lot of sets in yesterday's games, but Arkansas State has consistently not let that happen. Texas State has not really developed a lead larger than maybe 2 or 3 points. They'll develop at least a 1-point lead for the time being as Granado will go back to serve.
She's been a big part of the Texas State defense.
And a big part of their servicing as well, as that's a service ace for Granado. As Macy Putt not able to reel that one in. It went flying towards the officiating table. Another tough serve there. Sobolewska just able to bring it in. Sent right back her way, and she's going to be able to take advantage and get the kill for Arkansas State. Sobolewska now with 5 kills on the day as Lauren Musante comes in to serve for the Red Wolves.
Definitely an asset for the Red Wolves. That junior transfer, a big move for Arkansas State. You see she has 14 assists so far on the day.
Butner on the outside, not able to get the fall. It's time to putt. Blocked. Arkansas State able to. Okay, I thought they were just going to be able to get over the net, but the whistle's going to be called off a double touch on the final part of that save. So Texas State's able to close that point out. But still, even when Texas State gets these points, we didn't see this kind of effort and this kind of really just quality of play from Arkansas State yesterday. And so they're playing until the whistle's called.
Absolutely. And you see they're a little more comfortable today, especially in the first game yesterday. We saw a lot of miscommunication, running into each other, leaving a big gap open and not knowing who is supposed to take the ball when it could have easily been dug out. But today we see a lot more consistency and a lot more rhythm within the team.
Slaughter and Butner teaming up to block Macy Putt's hit on the right side as we take another look at that. Sending that ball straight down on Arkansas State's side of the court, scoring Texas State's 10th. Tough serve there. It's going to be, thought it was going to be a free ball situation. Macy Putt thought she could make something out of it, but instead it was a hitting error as it flew out the back court. So Arkansas State see enough. Texas State with an early 11-7 lead in the third set. We're going to take a quick break with those score lines. Texas State look to stay alive and keep their undefeated season intact after a tough serve from DeWalt. Gets them back on their way of coming back against the Red Wolves.
We mentioned during break that it's really hard to stop Texas State once they get their momentum going. And here you can see as they pull away with a little bit of a lead, Arkansas State needed to take that timeout, cut the momentum, have a second, regroup, and we'll see if they can come back.
So far, though, Texas State able to keep up the pressure just well after scoring both points after the timeout. First on a Fitzgerald kill, and that time on a block at the net. So Texas State now with a 6-point lead.
The 5-time setter of the week, Emily DeWalt, there with the serve.
Tough thing there, give it back to Arkansas State. And looks like Sabaleska is not going to be able to reel that one in. And so a bit of a weird one there, but Texas State still able to come away with it. Now Arkansas State's going to take another timeout as the scoreline resembles more. It's 9 blocks to 5 now. So they've stepped up their blocking game, as we saw with that block just there from the tip over. So if they can keep that up, they've taken away Arkansas State's greatest strength. But Stanford, that time from the outside, gets the kill, trying to reel things back in.
Macy Putt up for the serve, back after being on injury.
And leading Arkansas State with 10 kills today. Fitzgerald not able to get that one to fall. Sabaleska sends that one easily for Texas State. Back to Fitzgerald. And she's going to be blocked. So Arkansas State rekindling that blocking magic they had to try to get back on a run of their own to close this gap a bit and keep this thing competitive in the third.
While Macy Putt is leading the team in kills, she's not necessarily the most consistent. She's still hitting at 138, below 200, whereas Josie Stanford has 8 kills and is hitting over 200. But you know who's really surprising is Mariah Hesselgesser, the blocker. She actually has 5 kills on the day and is hitting over 700.
5-4-7 is Hesselgesser, finding really good opportunities at the net, but hasn't found them as recently, as Texas State's able to kind of keep that ball where they want it as they get that point and lead 15-9 as Foster serves things away. Teske will get that kill as Arkansas State's not able to corral that one.
Texas State pulling away with that lead like we saw yesterday. We'll see if Arkansas State can close the gap or not.
Seemed like they were going to a little bit earlier, but Texas State was able to stop that momentum. This time from the back line is Macy Putt, and Texas State reeling that one in. I mean, I'm not even surprised at this point. Setter dump, though, from Musante. Texas State able to reel that one in as well, though. So what seemed to be definitive points from Arkansas State have been denied by Texas State. Fitzgerald, she's going to be blocked there. So great effort from Texas State coming back after great plays from Arkansas State, but Arkansas State able to keep the quality up. And that time the block towards Sabaleska's side of the net scores A-State the point, getting them into double digits.
Looks like Hollingshed substituting out with Riley DeGill coming in, taking a look at that previous play. Able to get a hand on the ball, didn't touch the net, and a good block by Arkansas State.
Yep, Sabaleska and Hollingshed teaming up for that one as Hollingshed goes to serve for the Red Wolves. From the middle, Slaughter tried to get a hit on it, but wasn't able to do so. And the point will go to Arkansas State after a little bit of confusion, it seemed. And so it seemed like Hollingshed was ready to come out. And there we go. So there's a substitution. Gill comes in for Hollingshed. So Gill and I will go to serve. She will send that one away. Teske with the dig. From the middle of Slaughter, Gill's able to get that one up. Stanford this time. Dug from the back by Texas State. Teske sends that one flying too hard out the back line. So Arkansas State staying in this one. Like we saw Texas State, you just mentioned it. Usually they're used to pulling it away, but Arkansas State still able to chip away this lead, only down 4 now.
We'll see if they can keep their momentum going.
Teskey from the outside, not able to get it to fall. This time from the middle. Hesselgesser, though.
Able to save it.
Yeah, I thought she's been hitting well. Wasn't able to get that on the go, but Arkansas State's able to keep that one alive. Sabaleska from the outside. Arkansas State doing a good job of staying in this point.
There's Janelle.
Yeah,
With the power.
Gill was not able to get maybe just a little bit, a few inches of a difference. Maybe she could have dug that one better, but yeah, that power got that ball too fast for Gill to react. Slaughter now goes to serve for the Bobcats, who lead by 5. Putt from the back middle again. Nice diving dig there from DeWalt. And there's a kill for Arkansas State as they continue to respond, not letting Texas State run away with this as substitutions come in as we take another look at this one. Sabalevska from the outside from the pin.
She knew. She knew she wasn't supposed to touch that ball, but Arkansas State loves to take a point from a mistake.
Yeah, when it comes at you that fast, it's kind of hard to react. And once again, I think we saw a similar exhibit of that point right there as Arkansas State scored another one, and now we're within 3. So definitely not out of this one just yet. Texas State can't take the foot off the gas.
You saw that great blocking duo in Hesselgesser and Davenport earlier.
Fitzgerald's really stepping up as we seem like. I don't think I've really ever seen a ball hit the ground that fast off a hit than when I saw Fitzgerald.
All I have to say is I would not want to be a defender in that moment.
Sure, it hurts too.
Oh, I can imagine. You have to be really strong in your platform and your shoulders to defend that appropriately, and it's hard.
All right, so the hitting error will give the point back to Texas State, who start to extend their lead once again back to 5. So we approach the later stages of this set. Davenport from the outside, not able to get the fall to Teskey. And she's able to get that one just in front of Putt in the back of that court. So Texas State hit 20 and are pulling away once again.
Putt is not as strong in the back of the court as she is up close to the net. I think we've seen that today.
From the middle, Hesselgesser gets blocked back at her, and Davenport tries to go for it and gets blocked as well, but they're able to keep the ball alive for a moment. But the whistle will be called nonetheless, and Texas State once again with a 7-point lead. As Coach Restrepo looks a little perplexed. I'm not sure if it's by his own players or by the officiating crew, probably both. Putt from the back line again. And once again, she was actually able to dig that one up. I thought that one would hit the ground for sure, but officials will rule that the rally goes on. Potential setter dump there from Kramer, not able to get that one to work off the double touch. So Texas State Arkansas State seemed to claw back into it. They had the lead down to 3, but now they're trailing by 8. So Texas State only 3 away from staying alive. Sabaleska from the right side able to get that one down, though, scoring the Red Wolves 15th. And we've seen her more involved in hitting. We've just seen a different hitting squad. Brown sitting out. Putt is still hitting the same amount, but hitting from different positions. As she wasn't really too effective from the pin yesterday, but is doing much better today. And the block will go to Arkansas State once again. So from the middle, Texas State having a little bit of a struggle to close this one out after a really solid run there.
We've seen Sabaleska, too, with several very accurate and pinpointed kills today, like in the backcourt where she saw no one was there. Looks like a little confusion by the Texas State team. Nobody up at the front to go ahead and set the ball.
Yeah, that was
for Arkansas State.
That was a tough serve and probably not the best dig that they would have wanted either way. So it was a tough one to play either way as Sabaleska scores the service ace. Red Bulls now down by just 5. Teskey's going to get that kill off as Tickner is able to reel that one in as that one's flying off to the stands.
Teskey is another one of those that has a lot of power that comes off of her hits, making it really hard to defend.
Arkansas State, as we see there, have seen their hitting percentage fall beneath 200 now. So both teams having a little bit of struggles. But this time with a softer touch from the pin. Potential block there, not working. Arkansas State doing what they can to keep this ball alive, and they're going to be able to do just that. Tip over well dug there from Tickner. And Putt's going to be able to get the kill off the block after a pretty long rally that showed some tough moments as we see some substitutions. Hesselgesser coming off the court as Tittner goes to serve.
Hesselgesser still hitting very well over 500. Really being an asset today for Arkansas State.
Butner with the hitting error there, flying out the right side of the court. And I was wondering if Tittner lost her shoe or something. She kind of fell over. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I can't tell if she's in pain or if she's...
I think she's hurting a little bit. Came off of that celebration.
See the way she... Oh, yeah, that's rough, and you can tell. Yeah, we could see that one. That's
ouch. That did not look fun.
So she seems to try to be walking it off, but yeah, I mean, I don't think I would keep her in at this point.
Especially if she's okay, then you can bring her in later.
Oh, she seems to say, hey, I want to stay in, so let's hope that doesn't bother her.
I think she just mouthed, I just rolled it. So seems to be doing okay.
I'm glad we have a lip reading expert here as Texas State gets the point. I'm not as good as that. So Texas State, though, reaching set point. They're going to have 5 shots at sealing the third set in their favor.
You know, I do what I can.
A woman of many talents is Corey Keller. Butner from the outside, but not able to get really a connection there as Arkansas State now hit 20. They're going to have to score 4 straight to force this into extra points as Musante comes in to serve. Musante sends it away. Butner from the outside, well dug from Tickner. Putt with another kill off the block, so Arkansas State climbing back into this thing, now only down 3.
Trying to close that gap, trying to not make it so easy for Texas State, and they've done a good job of that today. As we've seen, they've already have two set victories under their belt.
And update for A-State football fans, if you chose to watch this, over Arkansas State's football contest against Louisiana, Arkansas State fell to Louisiana 27-20. But Arkansas State is not looking, volleyball at least, is not looking to fall against Texas State, as they are now just 2 points away from forcing extra points. And Texas State, I think they're quite cognizant of that fact as they're going to take their first timeout. But a 3-0 scoring run. And all it will take is 2 more for Arkansas State to take set point away from the Bobcats.
And if Arkansas State can claim this victory today, they will be the only team in the conference to upset Texas State.
Butner from the outside. Easy dig for Tickner. Putt, though, with a hitting error. So that point will go to Texas State, and Texas State can breathe a sigh of relief. 25-22 set victory. They stay alive here in Jonesboro. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to see the 4th set to see if Texas State can force a 5th. Just blocks and still looking pretty solid above Texas State in hitting, but the gap's closing, and as we saw, Texas State was able to take advantage of that and win the 3rd.
Definitely a difference from Arkansas State's previous hitting percentage. Now they're fallen below 200, whereas in the last 2 sets they were consistently over 200, significantly over 200. So now we'll see if Arkansas State can rally, get it together to either take the 4th set or push it into 5.
All right, so we get set to go back to action here in the 4th set. I'm really interested to see now how Arkansas State responds here, because you know you're that close to victory, and now it's, I mean, you knew it was never going to be easy, but I don't know. Part of me feels like it's just going to be that much tougher now that they've lost the set, and now they taste that Okay, yeah, Texas State's actually still a really good volleyball team. So we'll see if Arkansas State can hang in there and close this one out, or we'll see if we'll go to a 5th set.
They hung in really close last set, so we'll see if they can continue to do the back and forth, or if Arkansas State or Texas State will just run away with this set.
Yeah, we've seen Arkansas State struggle to close out sets towards the later portions, especially and throughout this season, as they. But that one was really on Texas State's advantage. They just couldn't complete the comeback, as they will try to not have that kind of situation happen in the 4th set, as Musante sends things away for the Red Wolves for the first serve. Butner from the outside is going to be able to get that kill, as Savalevska is not able to get there to dig that one out to a teammate. So Butner immediately subbed out for Michelle Foster, who comes in to serve for the Bobcats.
She's been very active today for Texas State.
Stanford look for the tip over on the outside. Fitzgerald looking to use her power. Not enough, but back to her. Arkansas State able to bring that one up. A tip over from Putt, not able to fall. Hollingshed went up and grabbed that one, but Texas State's keeping this thing alive, but not for long, as they eventually could not get that ball back over the net, as Arkansas State are now on the board.
Macy Putt up for the serve for Arkansas State.
Yeah, still a really good performance for her overall. Today's definitely an improvement from what she's seen so far. As Fitzgerald, a lot of power in that one, but Tickner's able to get underneath that one. Back to Fitzgerald, and
they were able to save it.
Yeah, they were able to. Let's see if that free ball goes over, and they will be able to get that free ball over. But not for long, as Fitzgerald goes back and says, okay, I'm going to get this kill now. And so Fitzgerald using her power consistently, keeping pressure on Arkansas State before getting the point.
Her athleticism is just unmatched
Yep.
on both teams.
34 attempts for Fitzgerald so far.
16 kills total for her. 17, excuse me.
Yeah, with that last one added on, as Stanford, though, gets a kill, who's been really efficient sometimes this season. She's been recognized by the NCAA volleyball Instagram page as a big-time performer, and definitely someone who can step up and help A-State out, and has been doing so far today with 8 kills, as Riley Gill now comes on for the Red Wolves.
This past weekend, though, as a whole, I wouldn't say that we've seen Stanford be utilized as much as we have in the past. Like we said today, they're rotating in a lot of different people, trying out something new, trying to change up what they had been doing.
Yeah, the Red Wolves at one point had been one-dimensional with Madison Brown to an extent. Was working, but wasn't working yesterday, as Texas State were able to shut her down. And Fitzgerald gets shut down there, not able to get the tip over the net. So the point will go to Arkansas State, who will take the lead, as we see if we might get another look here. Okay, so Gill back to serve. Arkansas State with a 1-point lead early. From the outside, that's Teskey, but that's going to be out of bounds, so a hitting error for her.
Good job by Musante not reaching that arm out there to try to touch it. You saw she immediately wrapped it around her body, so she didn't have the opportunity to reach out and try to grab it.
Fighting her instincts.
It is.
From the middle, that's a powerful kill there from Tyrone Scott, the middle blocker. Having that ball, controlling the timing a little bit, not being too one-dimensional by hitting from your pins all the time.
We haven't seen as much of Tyrone Scott as we had expected to originally this weekend.
Yeah, only 4 kills off 20 attempts, and 4 errors means she's hitting 0.
One of those preseason picks for the Sun Belt Conference for the all Sun Belt team.
Putt from the back middle of the court. Zone 6 gets the kill. So Arkansas State staying in front here, as Kramer comes in to serve.
A lot of enthusiasm here today as well for both of these teams. They recognize that each point is crucial.
Teskey from the outside. Not able to get that to fall, but Hesselgesser looked like couldn't really get a hold of it to send it back over. So Texas State will end up getting that point.
Looked like she just wanted to do a little tip over, but hit it a little too low. Went into the net on Arkansas State's side. Wasn't able to get the point.
Probably one too many thoughts going through her head there, as an interesting little play there off the ace there from Teskey. As now things are squared away at 5. Really interesting attack there from Hesselgesser. Well received from Texas State.
Good dig by Putt in the back.
Sawaleska from the pin. Texas State able to dig that one up. Back to Sawaleska. Another good dig from the Bobcats. To Butner. Sent right back at him.
We have a good rally here.
And right as you say that, you channeling some of my Jinx energy as Butner's able to get that kill. Not able to dig that up with the Red Wolves, and so now Texas State reclaim the lead 6-5. And a service error will give the equalizer easily to Arkansas State, as Sawaleska will go to serve.
We've talked also a lot about Lauren Teskey for Texas State. She was the Offensive Player of the Week for the Sun Belt for September 22nd.
Butner from the outside getting the kill there, so seeing her arm lighting up a little bit more. As Kayla Granado will go back to serve once again for the Bobcats. From the middle, a bit of a tap over from Sobolewska to Butner. Too much heat on that one. That flies well out of bounds for the attacking air, and for another equalizer for Arkansas State as we go back and forth. Here tied at 7 as Tickner looks to serve.
Emily DeWalt with the set.
Butner once again with the attack. Not able to get it down though. Putt has her shot at it, and she's going to be able to get it. Off a double touch from Texas State, not able to bring that one in. So Arkansas State now taking a 1-point lead.
We saw yesterday, while Arkansas State wasn't hitting very well, Texas State was making a lot of mistakes that Arkansas State was capitalizing on, and we're seeing that again today.
Looks like Slaughter went to the outside right there. Bit of an odd move, but nets Texas State the point after a double touch from Arkansas State. So once again, back and forth we go in the 4 set in Jonesboro.
Emily DeWalt with 1 block and 14 digs for today.
And Texas State doing too well to keep that one alive, and not only keep it alive, but get the kill from Fitzgerald. So a tough job rallying that one in, but we're able to do so and take the lead back.
She has so much power and so much accuracy with her hits.
So DeWalt will send that one into the net off the service error. And so, once again, tied at 9 as Musante comes in to serve.
Looks like Josie Stanford was also substituted in for Arkansas State.
Butner gets blocked. Texas State able to receive it this time to Fitzgerald, and she's going to be able to get the kill off the block. So Texas State take the lead once again. Shell Foster going back to serve. And it looks like Stanford's going to be blocked from the pin. Texas State now looking to pull away a little here, at least double point lead. We've seen They go back and forth, and yeah, she's actually that might even not be counted as a block. It may just be her hitting the pin as Arkansas State forced the free ball over. Fitzgerald with a tough one, and that's going to be another kill as that one flying to the stands. So now the Bobcats finally pulling away a little bit. Now Arkansas State wanted to turn to Louisiana UT Arlington. Our focus definitely on that matchup as it impacts definitely the Arkansas State Red Wolves and potentially who Texas State could be seeing in the future in the Sun Belt tournament. As Arkansas State gets the kill, Josie Stanford.
This has been a fun matchup to watch today. A lot of athleticism and energy from both teams. Seeing a lot of determination from both teams as well.
Putt with the serve. To Fitzgerald at the pin, and she's going to be able to get that kill. Actually, maybe not. Wow, I thought that was done and dusted, but instead Arkansas State with a really impressive block, but there we go. Fitzgerald will not be denied again.
She's good. I think there's no denying that at all. She knows what she's doing.
I mean, part of me feels like even if she didn't, if she just kind of had that power, she'd still be a pretty solid volleyball player. But the fact she does know what she's doing makes her a great volleyball player as Kayla Tello comes on to serve for Texas State. Tough serve there.
Little miscommunication there by Musante and Hollingshed.
Forces a free ball from Arkansas State. Fitzgerald gets the kill off the block once again, so her arm definitely heating back up. She scores her 22nd kill of the match. Brown from the outside, someone we haven't seen too much, and she's going to be blocked. So Texas State once again building a little bit of a lead, up 5 now.
We'll see if Arkansas State can rally back.
Tough serve there is going to make it hard for him. Back to Brown, not able to get anything going there. Back to Fitzgerald, and that was too much on that one. And it looked like Texas State thought they had a touch, but the officials indicate that they in fact didn't, as Arkansas State will take the point off the hitting error from Fitzgerald.
You saw Musante there waving her finger and saying, no, no, no. We got the point.
McGill will come on once again to serve for the Red Wolves, who are down 4, looking to rally back. And they were able to come back pretty well in the third set, make a good fight out of it, even though they ended up falling. We'll see if they can do the same here. Teskey's going to be blocked, and they're not going to be able to bring that one back in. So Arkansas State coming in with the point there. Now down by just 3. Arkansas State still leading in the blocks department, 14-6.
Both teams are still hitting below 200.
Fitzgerald being disarmed a little bit after another block from the Red Wolves. So now the Red Wolves are on a bit of a roll here, within 2. Cutting down this lead. We asked if Arkansas State could bring it back like they did in the third set, and it seems they are doing pretty well at just that. Back to Fitzgerald from the outside. She's going to be able to get that one to fall in between Musante and Putt, who were not able to reel that one in. So Brooke Johnson now on to serve for Texas State.
She is hard to defend. Fitzgerald is.
And the service error there from Johnson. Texas State not really able to respond with a run of their own due to that. Keeping Arkansas State close into this one as Kramer comes on to serve. She is set to send this one away. Tip over from Teskey will fall just inside the lines as Kramer's not able to get there in time. So Teskey, after that kill, will go back to serve.
She's not hitting as well as she normally does. She's actually hitting in the negative currently. Lauren Teske is.
She had only 5 kills, 7 errors off 31 attempts. From the back line. Putt, not able to get the fall. But Butner's able to get the kill off the block. Madison Brown tried to block that one down, but Butner had just enough on it to send that one out of bounds. And Davenport is able to get the kill as Texas State had a decent blocking effort there, but still had the ball go down on their side of the net as we take another look at that. Yeah, just right through the block and down straight on their side of the net as Sabalevska goes to serve as the Red Wolves are down 3.
DeWalt with the set.
Tough set. And yeah, really, double touch there. That ball was way too close to the net for DeWalt to actually get a comfortable set in. And so Arkansas State will reap the rewards of that.
Closing the gap like they did last time.
Let's see if they can finish the job this time, because around this time last set, Texas State were able to pull away once again. Able to reel that one in. Impressive effort there. Butner this time thought it was just out of bounds. Restrepo should have had a good look at that, so apparently Wood just touched the line for the kill for Butner. Now Granado to serve.
Looks like we're having some substitutions on the Texas State side.
And I see Restrepo having a conversation with someone over there, probably with an official.
Maybe disputing the previous call.
You know, if he wants to dispute it, he should probably challenge it. I believe he should have some left as Davenport goes from the right side, not able to get the kill in. Hesselgesser from the middle blocker position gets back in her killing ways. She had been shut down for a little bit, but now is back on the scoreboard after her 6th kill of the match. 11 attempts for her.
She's hitting very consistently today.
Tough serve there, not able to return it toward Texas State from Tickner. Tickner just kind of hit it just out of reach of that Texas State defender who was backing up when it seemed to be. She probably should have been, she just, I guess, overcompensated her position.
Tickner having a big day with 20 digs.
Butner now this time with the service error, and Restrepo, you see he loves that one on the sideline, as now Arkansas State have tied this thing up at 19. And so they finished it. They finished the job. They have cut into the Texas State's lead and have equalized things. And now only 6 points to go before the magic 25. Butner blocked, and that would just fall out of bounds. So it was close for Arkansas State, but the point will go to the Bobcats instead. It's DeWalt now back to serve. Texas State looking to run away once again. Putt tip over from the pin. Texas State not able to bring it up. And so, once again, a tie off of Macy Putt's kill. And substitutions coming in. We see Josie Stanford and Laura Musante coming on. Musante will do the honors of serving for Arkansas State.
20 assists today, showing her consistency today as well in her setting ability.
Fitzgerald from the outside probably should have got a hand on it. I believe Tickner got a hand on it, even though it looked like it was going out of bounds, but still the point will go to Texas State off of Fitzgerald's kill. Her 24th of the day. 47 attempts, so she's been used a lot by the Bobcats. Josie Stanford from the outside. Almost able to get the fall, but not quite. Blocked, though, just outside from Teske's hit. So Texas State looking to pull away once again in the later stages of this set. Arkansas State let victory elude them once. They're not going to want to do that again after that kill.
Putt back up for the serve for Arkansas State.
Yeah, the pressure's on. This is Texas State. I mean, their undefeated season's on the line. I don't know how much it means to them, but definitely would be a nice statistic to hang their hat on as Fitzgerald from the outside finds a lot of empty court in front of Putt. And so now Texas State only 2 points away from potential victory in the fourth set to force a fifth. Substitutions come on. Looks like Kayla Tello will come into the court to serve for Texas State.
The only person for Texas State consistently hitting over 200 is, again, Janelle Fitzgerald. No surprise there.
It seems they've been reduced to only one weapon, as Macy Putt will have the hitting error as it flies out of bounds. So now Texas State with 3 set points to their name to try to finish this one off, and Arkansas State will correctly elect to use their final timeout of the fourth set.
Mistakes and using that to their advantage.
Tello with a serve for Texas State. Arkansas State need 3 straight to force extra points, and that one is just inside. Oh, actually, perhaps not. So the feather on their cap is their blocks 16-6 now. Hopefully, for their sake, if they want to win this, they're going to keep that blocking performance up, since that's really the main ace of their sleeve.
Today, in my opinion, I feel like we've seen that top defensive team from Arkansas State that has been talked about previously, whereas yesterday it just seemed like the groove was a little bit off, but today it seems like they're a little more comfortable and ready to go.
All right, so it looks like DeWalt will start things off in the 5th set. A reminder that in the 5th set, of course, we only go to 15 points. It's a more of an abbreviated set to determine the victor of the match. From the right side, that's Josie Stanford with the kill in the first point. And since you feel that these points, you say every point matters that much more in the 5th set. Every point feels like you are much closer to victory than you might be in the 3rd set or the 4th set. It's Kramer
we'll see
now.
who takes the early lead. Obviously, Arkansas State with the first score, but we will see how it goes.
Fitzgerald looking to deny that early lead for Arkansas State, and she'll do just that with another thunderous kill, tying things up at 1.
No surprise there. If I was Texas State, I would serve it to her 9 times out of 10. She is consistent, and it is so hard to defend.
Hesselgesser blocked, and Arkansas State not able to keep that ball alive. Off of a relatively tough serve there from Foster. Davenport this time, hitting arrow will fly out the back of the court. Texas State now up 3-1. So after the first point, Texas State now on a 3-0 run. Another tough serve there. Tip over there from Hesselgesser, though. Great awareness on the 50-50 ball as both, was it Kramer and a player from Texas State went up to try to fight for it. Hesselgesser picked up the scraps and picked up the point for the Red Wolves. Now Sobolewska goes to serve.
Kramer did a great job of setting the ball by tipping it actually back into the Arkansas State side, so Hesselgesser could get a good hit on it.
Fitzgerald creating problems once again for Arkansas State, but Davenport this time able to get the kill off the block as they have shut down the early lead for Texas State. As we take another look at that one, breaking the block, making sure it falls in Bobcat territory.
You could see the height on the jump that Davenport gets.
Pretty tough serve there for Arkansas State, but still Fitzgerald is able to reel in the point. Now Slaughter will look to be substituted off actually for Kayla Tello, who will commence the serve for Texas State.
We've seen Texas State use her a lot more this game than we have previous games this weekend.
There has been a lot more gameplay today than the past couple of days, as Macy Putt with a Big hit, well dug out by Texas State. And that tip over just falls out of bounds, so Texas State will record their 5th. Tello will go back to serve once again. Sabaleska from zone 6, not able to get it to fall. Fitzgerald, another kill. What can you say? Every time they go to her, you said 9 times out of 10 you'd go to her. Well, 9 times out of 10 she'll probably get that kill.
Especially today. I mean, she's hitting over 400. She's so accurate. And the big thing is the power, the speed. It is dominating on the court.
Making things happen.
Especially as a true freshman. I mean, you have to imagine a year ago she was playing high school volleyball, and now she's at the Division I level and producing not only great blocks, but a lot of points for Arkansas State today.
For sure, going toe-to-toe against a nationally ranked team in Texas State.
It'll be interesting to see if they continue to use Hessel-Gesser in the tournament.
Davenport tried to go for it, but once again, blocked. Texas State now embark on a 4-0 scoring run after Arkansas State was able to tie things up at 3. Davenport again, blocked but able to recover this one are the Red Wolves. Free ball situation for the Bobcats.
There it is.
Who do you call?
Janelle Fitzgerald.
As Fitzgerald's really just putting on a show in the 5th set, looking to stamp this one away. Texas State up big now.
Kramer with the set.
And putt, not able to get that one down. Is blocked once again. So it seems like Texas State's doing a really good job reinforcing their defense at the net, not letting Arkansas State get in any of the hits they want to.
If I was Coach Restrepo, I might be thinking about a timeout soon to try to stop this momentum from the Texas State team.
Yeah, the best opportunity that Arkansas State's had in recent memory from Davenport is to hit that one out of bounds. So, and I mean, they still have 2, even though there's only 15 points, and we hear the whistle being called. And there's that timeout you were talking about as Texas State has hit double digits, have a 7-point lead. And I mean, it wasn't too. And another 50-50 ball, this time though, claimed by Texas State as they are just locked in and focused. They've ridden the momentum from their 3rd and 4th set victories and are displaying their dominance this time in the 5th set. Putt from the pin, it's a hitting error. Nothing's really clicking. So much stuff was clicking for Arkansas State in regulation, but in this 5th set, nothing's working.
The mistakes that you make, whether on the attack or the serve, are just so crucial right now. They can cause a lead like this to happen.
And miscommunication there. Tickner dug it out. Should have gone to Sabaleska to. It would have been a tough set from her, and job she really wouldn't have been doing. But it seems things are just breaking down as Texas State are now just 2 points away from finishing their undefeated regular season. But they'll give one over to Arkansas State with the service error from Tello.
This is a little more consistent of what we saw from yesterday from Arkansas State. They had a lot of dominance and a lot of power in the last 4 sets, but in this last set, not as much.
Fitzgerald, what can you say? Another kill, and now Texas State on match point.
She's great. She really is. She has so much speed. She has such a high point of contact on the ball. The agility, the athleticism, it's all there for her, and it works.
I will continue to say that Texas State are 1 point away from, I think, finishing an undefeated season, but they do have a weekend against UT Arlington. So, but they'll be well on their way to continuing it with a victory here, as Arkansas State would have to do 10 straight, and they're not going to be able to do that. Well, after a touch there, that'll be Arkansas State's 5th point.
Musante in, taking the serve. the junior transfer from the University of Illinois, Chicago.
And the game is now over off the kill from Tyrone Scott, that time from the outside position, as Texas State survive a scare from Arkansas State, but run away with the fifth set, 15